Namaste, everyone. My name is James. Welcome to your yoga practice. Today, we're going to be doing a really fun flow. I hope you like it. Let's get started off in our child's pose. So we'll roll over the knees, hands planted firmly, knees out wide, feet together. Sink your hips back far, pressing into all 10 fingers. Rest your head down. Start to breathe here. Forget about your day, your week, your year. Just focus on being present in this moment, right here, right now. I invite you to introduce your ocean-like breath, that ujjayi breath, the sound of your throat. That ujjayi breath helps to warm the body from the inside out. And remember, if at any point during this practice your breath is not in your control, I want you to take a moment, find your way into this child's pose or downward facing dog until you can regain control of that breath and join us back in practice. Remember, yoga is a practice. So each day practicing or every other day practicing, we will get better. I invite you to take your right hand on top of your left for a nice little side body stretch here. Breathing into that right side body. On your next exhale, let's walk the hands back to center and over to the right side of the mat. Left hand on top of right for that left side body stretch. Deep inhale through the nose. Inside out. Perfect. On your next breath, back to center. And we'll take our way into our tabletop pose. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, maybe a little side to side action there, getting into the hips. We're going to take this into a puppy pose. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the knees back a little bit, then we're going to walk the palms forward, pressing into all 10 fingers till we can gently rest our forehead or chin to the ground. Breathing into that upper, lower, mid back. On your next breath, let's press back up into our tabletop pose. Take it into our cats and cows. So for our cow, we're going to drop the belly, arch the back, look up. In our cat, chin to chest, round the spine. Exhale. Inhale, chin up, look up, arch the spine. Exhale, chin to chest, round the spine. Couple more of these cats and cows, moving with your own breath, at your own speed. We can add in a little wiggle room today. So knees together, hands to stay out wide. We can just take the hips to our dancing lion, moving our upper body, our neck, just kind of getting some movement going here for a few rotations. You might hear some pops and cracks. That's perfectly fine. Let's take it the other way. If you went one way, if you're still in those cats and cows, maybe turn your hands, face your fingers towards the back of the mat, get into your wrists a bit. And let's back to our tabletop pose. Let's Plant the left palm, right hand up high. Give the wrist a little spin one way, then the next. Take this right hand, thread it under our left. Thread the needle here. I always welcome you to stay right here in stillness. Or you take this left leg high. Maybe take this left arm around the back. Maybe lift up the right leg. On your next breath, let's bring that leg back down if it's up. Come back into our child's pose for a moment. And back into our tabletop. Right hand down, left arm up. Give that wrist a little love one way, and then the other. Take this left palm high, thread it under our right. For our thread the needle pose, left temple on the ground, left ear. We can take this right leg high. We can take this right arm bound back for a little bind. As long as we're breathing. On your next breath, bring that right leg in if it's up. Back into our tabletop pose. Maybe a little side-to-side action there. And then we'll press it on up into our down dog. So for down dog, all 10 fingers into the mat. Lift the hips high. Maybe we walk our dog out. Right foot, then left foot. Getting into our shins, our calves. Getting some motion in our shoulders. Let's take a deep breath in, high on the toes, inhale. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, high on the toes. Exhale, heels down. Inhale, high on the toes. Let's tiptoe to the top of our mat. We'll inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. Then grab onto opposite elbows. Find our ragdoll pose here. For ragdoll pose, so you want to think about your belly is into your thighs. Maybe a micro bend in your knees. Head is heavy. Maybe shake it. Yes. And no. And yes again. On your next exhale, release the hands to the ground. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to a fold. We'll step back into our plank for a moment. And then we're going to take 3 chaturangas. So slow lower down. And back up. Slow lower down. Back up. One more chaturanga. Slow lower down. And back up, back into our down dog. All right, here we go. We're going to take this left leg high, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Left knee to the nose, core plank, round it in. And back up. Left knee to your nose, round in, core plank. And back up. Left knee to the nose, hold it here. Step it through to your low lunge. Dip the hips, look up. Step that right leg forward, fold in. And then reach, rise, and back bend. And hands into heart center. Deep breath in and sigh it out. Here's a perfect opportunity. If you have an intention for practice, I want you to set it here. Place it between the eyebrows. And then we'll reach, rise, and back bend. Exhale to a forward fold. Step the left foot back to a long runner's lunge. Deep inhale, look up. Step the right foot back. Lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale to a cobra. Exhale to your down dog. Perfect. Let's do that one again. Right leg high this time. Three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Right knee to the nose. Core plank. And back up. Right knee to your nose. Core plank. And back up. Right knee to your nose. Hold it here for a moment. Step it through. Long runner's lunge. Dip the hips, look up. Step that left foot forward. Round in. And inhale, reach up, rise up, back bend. And swan dive down on your exhale. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Hop, step, or walk to the back of the mat. Take your chaturanga. Slow lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right. Inhale, high in the toes. Exhale, lower them. Inhale, high in the toes. Hop, step, or walk to the top of the mat. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reach up, rise up to back bend. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Hop, step, or walk. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a deep breath in together through the nose. And sigh it out. One more in through the nose. And sigh it out. All right, here's an opportunity to come down on your forearms. Maybe find your forearm plank, dolphin. Maybe you stay right here. Maybe you take one leg up. Maybe you take the other leg up. Maybe you find your way into full pincha. Looking forward, breathing. Maybe scorpion it. For 3. For 2. For 1. Come on back to our down dog. Deep breath in together. And sigh it out. One more in together. And stick out your tongue, cross your eyes line. Amazing. Inhale high on the toes. Hop, step, or walk to the top of the mat. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to reach. Rise, back bend. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Hop back to your plank and chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Yeehaw. I'm feeling warm. My tapas are going. Tapas is a concept. It's that friction, that warmth you generate that really signifies a nice practice. And remember, yoga is not about the poses. What this 60 to 75 minutes is an inward look. It's looking into thyself, thy soul, testing yourself, coming to your edge and not going over it. Let's inhale high on the toes. Exhale, lower them. Let's bring the feet together at the back of the mat. Left leg high. Bend the knee, open the hip. Left knee to the nose. Step it through. Come up to your crescent. So crescent, deep bend in the left knee. We're on the ball of the back foot. Arms above head. Good job. Breathe. Oops, yeah, micro adjustments. On our exhale, we'll open up into our warrior two. So feet have heel to arch alignment here. My hips are rotated towards the side of the mat. My arms are in one line, looking over my left middle finger. I'm going to reverse that warrior. So reach forward, flip the palm, left arm up. Maybe we bind this right arm behind the back. Maybe it stays on the thigh. One more breath in. And release it to our side angle pose. So our left forearm on our left knee, right arm overhead. You could also bring this left hand to a block if you'd like. Thinking about opening that shoulder up. And one more breath. On the exhale, we roll it out into our reverse warrior. Straight both legs. Come into our sky archer. So sky archer, grab onto the left wrist with the right hand. Left foot comes up. We're leaning back. And exhale, plant the palm, plant the foot, arms in one line. We're coming to our Trikonasana. So left hand down, right arm up, legs are straight. Looking up towards our right hand. Two more breaths. On the exhale, we come back into our reverse warrior. Deep bend that left knee, left arm overhead for a moment. And then we exhale to our half moon. So left hand comes forward, right arm comes up, right leg comes up. Looking up towards our right hand or down to the mat. One more breath. And then we'll plant this right hand down, find our way into our standing needle. So we're framing the left foot with both hands. The right leg is flying high. Five breaths here. We can also play around with some kick ups where we plant the palms. Maybe we kick the foot to a to a handstand. Not today. Not on that side at least. On the next exhale, we'll stand on up to our one-legged Tadasana. Hands to heart center. Right knee up. Whew. Ground to the big toe, pinky toe, heel. There we go. Arms up high. Kick this right foot forward. And then we'll fly it back on the exhale to our warrior three. Arms and feet in one line. One more inhale. And exhale, right foot meets left. Come to a chair pose. So you're sitting your butt down, arms up high, looking up. Maybe sink those hips a little bit lower. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to forward fold. Hop back to it. Plank and lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. That was fun. Woo! All right, how are we feeling? Good? We got the other side left. Here we go. Feet together at the back of the mat. Right leg high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Right knee to the nose. Step it through to our low lunge. Do we rise up? Crescent. Woo! There we go. So deep bend in the right knee. We're on the ball of the back foot. Arms overhead. Controlling our breath. The next breath brings us into our warrior two. So left leg externally rotates, arms one line, deep bend in that right knee, looking over our right middle finger. The next breath, we'll bring the hand forward, flip the palm, reverse our warrior. Make sure this right knee is not caving one way or the other. The next breath brings us into our side angle. So staying in that bent knee, right forearm to the right knee, left arm overhead. The next breath brings us into that sky archer. Windmill the arms open. Grab onto the right wrist with the left hand. Right foot comes up. Lean up. Lean back. And the exhale brings that right foot down. Arms in one line. Right arm down. Left arm up. Straight legs. Trikonasana. Triangle pose. Left arm up, looking up towards our left hand. On the next breath, reverse our warrior one more time. Right arm up, left arm back. Deep bend in that right knee. And our next breath brings us into our half moon. Right hand forward, left arm up, left leg up, looking down or looking up towards our top hand. We can also use a block here if we need to open up the chest a little bit more. On the next breath, we'll come into our one-legged Savasana. Release my brick. Left knee up. Arms up overhead. Drishti is our focal point. Rounding into all four corners of our right foot. We'll kick the left foot forward. And fly ourselves into a warrior three. Arms alongside the ears, biceps by the ears, left leg back. That left foot can be pointed or flexed. One more breath. And feet meet to our chair. And I lied. We're going to step that back. Left foot back. So from here, okay, fix that. We're going to go from our the next breath is going to bring us into our standing needle. So we're going to frame the right foot with both hands. I'm going to step back a bit. So I can have palms down, and I can play around with some handstand kick-ups. So think about getting your shoulders over your wrists. For 3, for 2, and 1. Not the best come down, but that's okay. Back into our standing needle. Deep breath in. And exhale, feet meet. And then we come to our chair. Arms up, hips sink low. Deep breath in. Let it go. One more breath in. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hop, step, or walk to the back of the mat. Take your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog cobra. Exhale, down dog. Okay. Now I'm very warm. I'm ready to go. Hopefully you are too. Left leg comes side, three-legged dog. You can stay there or flip your dog. So feet are parallel. Left arm up. You can also take this into a full wheel. And back around. Let's flip back over to our three-legged dog. And step this left foot forward on the outside of the mat to your lizard lunge. So in lizard lunge, we have both hands inside the foot. Our right foot is rocking us back and forth. And then we can also find our full pose, which is elbows down. If that's not very comfortable or attainable, we can have the right knee down and kind of stay in this active lizard here. We can have our knee down, then come down to our forearms, and then work on lifting our right leg. All different opportunities. And I'll also show you a flying lizard. So what I'm going to do is walk my left foot in. My right arm is going to come. My left leg is on my left shoulder like a backpack. I'm going to push into my hands, pull my left foot up, fly my right leg high. I'm working on it. Otherwise, stay in your lizard pose. If you don't practice, you'll never master. 3 more breaths in this pose. On the next breath, we'll press up into our active lizard. And then we'll rotate our body towards the right side of the mat into a Skandasana. So Skandasana is our right heel is in the mat. We can have our hands at heart center, hands out front. We can bind our left arm around our back. That's accessible to you. Sometimes it is for me. Sometimes it's not. Two more breaths. If your hands are bound, release them back to heart center. And then we'll take this into a wide-legged crossarita. So legs out, hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. For this crossarita, what we're going to do is take our right hand, grab it on to our left calf. We're going to take the left arm, bind it around the back. We're going to pull on this left calf with our right hand, pulling our face towards our shin. Two more breaths. And on the next breath, release it back to center. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale to a fold. Let's rotate towards our front of our mat, to our runner's lunge, framing our left foot. Inhale, dip the hips, look up. And step this left foot back, three-legged dog, into our plank and vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Okay, that wasn't so bad, I guess. Take this right leg high, bend the knee, open the hip. You can stay here or flip your dog. In your flip dog, you can stay out right here, hanging out, or you can try to take this to your full wheel if you'd like. And we'll flip it back on over. Back into our three-legged dog, right leg high. Step this right leg forward, outside of your right hand for our lizard pose. So, remember for this pose, we can take some gentle rocks, front and back. We can take the left knee down if we'd like. Maybe that's comfortable for us today. Maybe we work on getting our forearms down. Maybe then we lift the left knee. And we just breathe into this fun stretch. Maybe you want to try that flying lizard. So I'll walk the foot in a little bit, wear my right knee like a backpack, planting in all 10 fingers, bending this right foot, flying my left leg high. Someday, till now, I'll just play around. 3 more breaths here. The next breath, press up to your palms for your active lizard. And then we'll rotate on this right side, going into our Skandasana on this side. So same thing, left heel is into the mat. I have an opportunity to take my hands to heart center, hands out front. I can also see if I can bind this side. Maybe, there we go. The way I built up to this was using a strap, so I was never able to do this. It took me years. So if you don't practice something, you'll never accomplish it. 2 more breaths. One more. And release the hands, a little bit gracefully than that. Back to heart center. Press into the palms. Come on up into our cross arita. So wide-legged forward fold, hands beneath the chest. Inhale to half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Same thing on this side. We're going to take the left hand, grab it on to the right calf. Right hand is going to bind around the back. We're going to pull our face towards our right shin. Four, 3, 4, 2, and 1. Release the hands back to center. Inhale to a half lift, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Let's come back up to that front of the mat, framing the right foot for our long runner's lunge, and dip the hips, look up. And exhale, fly this right leg back into our plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. These wires got me today. Okay, paddle it out a bit. And then find your way into a child's pose. So child's pose, knees out wide, hips sink back, arms forward, just for a moment of rest. Maybe take a drink, towel off your face. Just be. Let's inhale back to our hips high, back to our down dog. And lift that left leg high, bend the knee, open the hip. Left knee to the nose. Back up. Left knee into the nose. And step it through to our crescent lunge. Arms above the head. We've been here before. This time we're going to launch on the next breath to our warrior three. So inhale. And exhale, warrior three. We've been here before as well. For 3, for 2, and 1. Land those palms, fly that right leg high, standing splits. On the next breath, we'll land that back leg, step it in a little bit, half lift. We can either come into our pyramid pose, just with our hands down, framing that left leg, folding over that left leg, or we can grab onto opposite elbows or wrists and just fold over that left leg. On the next breath, we'll frame that left foot, fly that right leg high for our standing L, and land that right foot next to the left. Come back into our chair. Inhale, and exhale to reach, rise, back bend, and forward fold, exhale. Inhale to half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, hop, step, or walk to your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog cobra. Exhale, down dog. Amazing. Right leg high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Right knee to your nose. Back up. Right knee to your nose. Step it through to your crescent lunge. Deep bend in that right knee on the ball of the back foot. Arms up. 2 breaths. And on the exhale, we'll launch into our warrior three. Once again. For 3. For 2. And 1. Frame that right foot for standing splits. Left leg high. For 5. And 3. And on the next breath, land that back leg down. Feet are in one line. We can stay right here for our pyramid pose. We can half lift, grab onto opposite elbows, opposite wrists, and fold. On the next breath, we'll frame that right foot, fly that left leg high for a flying L for a moment. Then left foot meets right, top of the mat, into our chair pose. Inhale. And exhale, rise up, back bend. Forward fold. Woo! Oh my. Inhale to a half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Hop back to your chaturanga. To your plank first, then chaturanga. Inhale, up dog cobra. Exhale, down dog. Okay. One more fun part. Left leg high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step this left foot forward. Come into your Anjaneyasana. Arms up high. For Anjaneyasana, we're pushing our hips into the earth, okay? So think hips into the earth, arms high. Maybe a slight back bend. And on the inhale brings us up. Exhale brings us into our half splits. So half splits, left heel into the ground. We're folding over this left leg. If you want to try out full splits, which is what I'm working on, we're going to have some blocks. And we're going to slowly roll out into a full-ish split. It's hard on the carpet. It's hard on a carpet. So if you have access to like a wood floor, you can wear socks to help you roll out a little further. For 5. For 3. And on your next breath, let's come back up to our half split. I'm going to release my blocks. We're going to frame this left foot, come on into our low lunge, dip the hips, look up. Fly this left leg back, keep it high as we lower down chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. All right, here we go. Right leg high, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Step this right foot forward. Drop the back knee. Come into your Anjaneyasana. So deep bend in the right knee. Hips are sinking into the earth. Arms up high. Maybe a back bend. Ooh. The inhale brings us up. Exhale brings us into our half split. So my left foot, it's kind of like my balancing, usually like my balancing act. So if I'm having trouble getting stability, I'll use my left foot for more stability in my poses. So we're folding over this right leg. Same thing here. We can go into our full split trial, working toward it, right? Because if we never work towards something, we'll never get it. We're just breathing into this shape, breathing into the discomfort. Looking inward, facing our demons. Who would have thought just in the yoga class you do all that? 3 more breaths. On the next breath, we'll come back to our half split for a moment. I'll release my bricks, my blocks, And we'll come into our low lunge. So right leg, dip the hips, look up. Fly this right leg back. Don't lower it. We're going to lower down chaturanga with that right leg high. Inhale up dog. Exhale down dog. Okay. That was fun. Maybe a little segmented. Figured I'd break it apart, make it a little bit more manageable. All right, we got some things to finish off here. We'll take this left leg high, bend the knee, open the hip. Take this leg, this knee, this hip in some circles, one way, then the other. Take this left leg high, left knee, left elbow, cross it over to the right, to the left, back to the right, to the left, to the right, one more left, and we'll come into our half pigeon. So remember, knee, this shin should be working towards parallel to the front of the mat. That's impossible for me, so I just usually recommend like a 45-degree angle. Active pigeon, we're gonna sink down into the hips, hands up above on the head for 3, for 2, and 1. And slowly begin to come down to our resting pigeon. Just surrender here to the mat. Take a few moments, a few breaths. Also, remember, use your blocks if you need them. If you're feeling like kind of funkiness or feeling like there's some kind of discomfort, you can put your blocks in places to help support you. So you can put it under your left glute. That might feel nice to take off some of the tension from the knee. But anywhere that you're seeking stability that you don't have, use your props, your blocks to help support you, your straps to help get you into binds that you weren't able to access before. They're there to assist you and make you a little better. 3 more breaths. On the 3rd breath, we'll come back up to the hands, step this left leg back, maybe move that knee around in some circles, maybe paddle out the feet a little bit just to work out some of that kink. Maybe we'll take another vinyasa because we love it. Or maybe we'll just stay in our down dog. Take that right leg high, bend the knee, open the hip. Right knee, right elbow. To the left and the right. Back to the left. Back to the right. Back to the left. One more right. One more left. Okay, we can come into our pose now. Half pigeon on the right. We'll go into our active pigeon first. So hands up high, or they can be on the mat. So what you're trying to do is sink down into your hips here. Two more breaths. One more. And then we can surrender to the mat. When you start to surrender, you might notice those outside thoughts start to come back. They creep back in because you're not putting much effort in anymore. If you're starting to feel them creep back in, just recognize them and let them go. Think about them like clouds in the sky, floating overhead. A thought comes in, we recognize it, we don't judge it, we just let it go. That is a little guided meditation for you. If you've never done guided meditation, the first thing people always tell me when I bring it up is that they've tried it and they're terrible at it. But just like yoga, just like any practice, it's a practice. You'll never get good at guided meditation unless you put the time into it. I recommend starting out maybe 10 minutes a day in the morning, or if you're someone who has trouble sleeping, maybe 10 to 15 minutes before bed. There's so many apps out there that can help guide you to sleep, help you to focus your thoughts. That's all guided meditation is. It's a way of controlling your thoughts, which have basically probably run amok your entire life. And now you're trying to get control of them. So it's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. On the next breath, we'll press up to our palms. Fly this right leg high, bend the knee, maybe move it around in some circles, maybe paddle it out, maybe take another vinyasa because you love it. Inhale, up dog, or maybe you just stay in your down dog. That's fine too. Let's inhale high on the toes and hop through to our boat pose. So, boat pose, our sits bones are firmly into the mat. Our legs are up. We can grab onto the back of our knees, lift those legs up higher. Our spine is nice and long, shoulders away from our ears. Maybe we lift our hands out. And we exhale to our low boat. Let's inhale to our high boat. And exhale to our low boat. Inhale, high boat. Exhale to our low boat. Inhale to our high boat. Exhale to our low boat. Two more. Inhale, high boat. Exhale, low boat. This one, let's clap the heels together. There's no place like home. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. High boat. Exhale, low boat. Flutter kick the feet. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to our high boat. And back to our low boat. Lied to you, sorry. Hands in the chest. Elbows from side to side. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into the chest. Big squeeze. All right, maybe we can rock the knees a little bit. One way, then the other. Little circles to get into our sacrum, low back. Let's lift the feet up high. Happy baby. Grab onto outside edges of each feet. We kick a little bit of the hand. Invite some movement here. And then we'll drop the feet down, find our way into our bridge or wheel. So for bridge, we're going to lift the hips up high. The knees should really be over the ankles. I hope they're that way. I can't really see, but and then we can grab onto, we can interlace our fingers underneath our back. A little bit of extra shoulder stretch. We can lift onto our toes. And exhale, slow lower. Maybe a little tick-tock of the knees, side to side. And back into our bridge or wheel. So remember, bridge, lift the hips high, Wheel. We're going to put the hands by the shoulders. Fingers are facing towards the feet. We're pressing into all 10 fingers and the palms and the feet, and we're lifting the hips high. On the inhale and exhale, come into your pose. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tuck the chin, hips down, wag the knees. Let's hug the knees in, big squeeze. Drop the right leg out, left knee stays in, hug it in, squeeze it in. And exhale. Take this left knee over the body, left arm out, looking to the left for our supine twist. On the next inhale, bring the knees back into the chest, big squeeze. Hold the right knee, let the left leg go. Big squeeze, right knee into the chest. And then take that right knee over the body, right arm out for our supine twist. Looking towards our right hand. On the next breath, knees back into the chest, big squeeze. Then we'll take it into our sleeping tiger. So sleeping tiger is just feet up, arms up, maybe laxity in the wrists. That's our sleeping tiger. So that's one option. Or you can take this into a shoulder stand. So you're slowly rocking up onto your shoulders, maybe supporting your low back with your hands, staying off your neck, not moving your head. For 5. For 3. And on the next breath, we'll either stay in our sleeping tiger, come on down to our plow pose, one leg or both at the same time. Take it to our ear pressure pose or Padasana. Big squeeze. And then exhale. Lower one vertebrae at a time. Let's take a deep breath into the nose. Inside out. Let's come on into our fish pose. So fish pose, think of it like relaxing at the beach. We're going to be on our forearms. Bring our forearms back. We're going to rest on our forearms. So our hands are kind of like under our glutes. And then we're going to lean our head back. We're going to puff the chest up. So the chest should be the highest point of the body. And then we'll start to introduce our puppy breath. So deep breath in, look towards your feet, and release. Let's squeeze the knees in, big squeeze. This time, grab onto opposite elbows. Maybe bring your head to touch your knees. Let's take a deep breath in together. Inside out. We'll take a deep breath in together and hold it for 5 seconds. Deep breath in. And release. Into your final resting pose. Savasana. Rest and receive. I want you to take a moment here to bring all of your attention to the top of your head. What kind of sensations are up there? Does it feel cool or warm? Or maybe there's no sensation. I want you to bring your focus down to your eyes, your forehead. Notice if there's any tension there. And then bring your focus down to your lips, your mouth, your jaw. Is your jaw clenched or relaxed? Is your tongue to the roof of your mouth, or is it sitting in your mouth? And then bring your attention down to your neck, your shoulders. Do you feel any tension in your neck or your shoulders? Then you bring your attention down to your upper back. Do you feel any sensations in your upper back? Maybe some tension. Maybe you feel the earth pressing into your upper back. I want you to bring your focus down to your low back. What's showing up for you in your low back? Are you feeling any tension? Now I want you to bring your attention down to your hips and your knees. You feel any tension in your lower legs? Now bring your attention down to your feet, your toes. Is there any tension showing up in your feet, your toes? Now I want you to bring your attention to your whole body. How does your body feel now? Do you feel relaxed, calm? I want you to pay attention to your breath. Each time you take a breath in, say, inhale. And when you take a breath out, say, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now take the tension away from your breath. I want you to think about moving your fingers, your toes, your ankles, your wrists. Bring some movement back in your body, some gentle movement. Maybe move your head from side to side. Maybe reach your hands overhead, like waking in the morning, from fingers to toes, big stretch. And on your exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Roll over onto your right side for your pose of rebirth. Taking one final moment to find some gratitude here. Gratitude to yourself for showing up to the mat. Gratitude to your breath for guiding you in this practice. Gratitude to your mind for having so many thoughts. Let's press on up to a comfortable seated position at the top of the mat. Eyes closed, hands to heart center, chin slightly bent. Taking one final moment here. Let's take a deep breath into the nose and sigh it out. Let's take our hands to forehead center, and we all bow together and say, Namaste. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself today. Have a fantastic day. See you next time on the mat.